Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 3 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, of course, big news is what we've got coming up this weekend. And latest model runs continue to point towards this winter system, this winter storm, actually slowing down a little bit. So we're now looking at potentially moving the First Alert Weather Day status from Saturday and Sunday now to more Sunday into Monday. Again, as that low pressure system again kind of hits the brakes a little bit. Now, technically, it's still actually actively forming along Baja California. So we're getting a better reading now that it is starting to come into existence, how fast it is actually going to move across the southeastern United States. And with that slowdown, again, it does adjust timing of things and potential impacts again on the actual forecast itself. But let's get into the nitty-gritty details of what we know right now. And what we've got is, again, our sight set on a wintry mix. Now, I know that can mean a whole bunch of different things. I don't want people to think that that's a cop-out, but what we're looking at is snow initially, then switching over to sleet and potentially finishing as freezing rain. Not what you want, and normally not actually what we see. Usually, whenever we're talking about these sort of winter systems moving into eastern North Carolina, we see it flip. We see it start out as rain, then freezing rain, then getting cold enough to support sleet, and then turning everything over into snowfall as temperatures drop. That's not going to be the case with this system. This is going to be a different beast because, again, we've got a lot of Gulf moisture coming in with this system, and that's going to add its own heat to the system itself as it precipitates over eastern North Carolina. So right now, again, now that we're pushing that estimate impact time into now Sunday and Monday, we're still, again, about 4 days out. And right now we are trending more towards freezing rain than straight up snow. Now, are we going to see some snow out of this system? Yes. Will everyone? No. Those of you along the coast, the Outer Banks, along with the Crystal Coast, are going to be looking at a very, very slim chance of snowfall coming down. Now, your opportunities for freezing rain are up there with just about everybody else. So it's not like the coast is going to be completely free of any sort of winter weather headaches, but for now, it's looking again like a very cold event, a freezing rain event. So coming up for tomorrow, we're going to start out with some sunshine. We're going to see a little bit of sun, and then increasing cloud cover will take over in the afternoon. We'll see a few raindrops move in as well. On Friday, we will see increasing cloud cover and rain showers with temperatures falling through the day. Highs tomorrow in the low 60s. Highs on Friday down into the low 50s. On Saturday, once again, we start to see this winter weather roll through. Air temperatures are likely going to be staying below freezing throughout the day on Saturday and maybe a few degrees above freezing on Sunday. With that, plus moisture, you're going to again have the opportunity for seeing freezing rain, sleet, and again, still potentially some snow. We'll show you the latest model runs coming up here in just a few moments, but first kind of want to set the stage of what's actively out there right now and where the problem truly lies with this forecast. Now, the area of low pressure that's going to be, again, bringing that winter storm to the east, that the source of it is going to be developing there right near the Gulf of California. You see that low forming there. It's going to, again, inch its way northward towards southern Arizona, and then is essentially going to follow that path that you're seeing and kind of connect the dots together from southern Arizona across Dallas, Texas, into that next cold front that you're seeing stretch across South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. It's essentially going to be following right along that line. Now, so long as it rides along that line and stays down to our south, we will remain in what is considered the cold sector of that system. The cold sector is where you, again, if you have that, we'll talk about the area of low pressure you're seeing there near Cape Fear. On the south side of that low, a lot of warm air resides. You also have your higher moisture content in that zone. On the north side of that low pressure system, that's where all of the cold air resides. Now that warm front tries to swing into the cold air, and that cold front tries to bring it around to the bottom. So everything essentially kind of tilts as that low pressure system spins. But so long as it's in that position, by the time we get to Friday, we will see a reinforcement of cold air through the day on Friday. Now let's talk again about the latest model runs that still, again, show significant wintry precipitation across eastern North Carolina. This is what we've got Saturday, 10 a.m. Maybe some freezing rain near the coast, some spot showers. Not a lot there, though. Early Saturday, yeah, it's going to be cold. But we'll also see some sunshine as well. And we head through your Saturday, and that's when, once we get into Saturday evening, we will start to see some snowflakes for one, particularly for areas on the north side of Highway 264, and some sleet mixed in as well. But then south of 264, you're looking at more sleet and freezing rain. This is when the headache truly begins, but this isn't the cherry on top of the sundae. That comes in really on Monday as everything pulls out into the Atlantic. Let's advance this a little bit further. We'll get into Sunday morning. This is 6 a.m. Along the coast, we are looking at air temperatures slightly warmer because of the proximity of the ocean. The ocean hangs on to heat a lot better than the land does. So even as we have this cold air mass set up over eastern North Carolina, the air over the ocean tends to be just a little bit warmer than freezing, creating more of that rain potential for those of you watching closer to either the Outer Banks or really the Sounds. Now that is 6 a.m. on Sunday. By noon, air temperatures across the east will gradually warm up. Highs on Sunday set in the mid-30s. So we are going to get a little bit above freezing, but we're not going to get a super far above freezing to where we can't see those air temperatures drop back down again as that system exits. But there you can again see kind of that swirl, those orange lines swirling around just off the coast of Norfolk there. That's a low pressure system, a surface low, a source of the moisture. Now with those low pressure systems, they do hang on to a little bit of heat within them, so that can bring air temperatures up a bit for areas surrounding that low. So Norfolk, Elizabeth City, areas around really the entirety of the Sounds, both the Albemarle and the Pamlico Sound, will be a little bit above freezing by this point. But you got to remember, on Sunday, once we get to around 3-4 p.m., that's when air temperatures start to drop again. So let's advance this a little bit further. Here you can see by 6 o'clock, we not only again see that sleet, rain, snow line, that mix line, drift a little bit further south now, encompassing parts of Myrtle Beach and even potentially even Wilmington. We're also looking at a little bit of a drying trend there. That is important to note. But as we head towards midnight, this is where we start to see some problems with model forecasts, in that along the coast, you're still seeing everything come down as rain. At this point, Monday night, 12 a.m., everyone is going to be below freezing. So anything at this point that comes down will be freezing on contact and will be freezing rain in eastern North Carolina. From Charlotte extending all the way to the Outer Banks, we're looking at sleet and freezing rain as we head through Sunday night into Monday morning. But as you can see, this is not the end of the system. Again, this is the latest model run from the GFS that highlights a slowing down of that low pressure system. So we'll advance this a little bit further. Monday, 9 a.m., still looking again at sleet and freezing rain across most of eastern North Carolina. Monday at 9, we will still be below freezing. I think by 9, our warmest temperature is likely going to be sitting maybe around 28, 29 degrees, so it's not even going to be close, because Monday, our high temperature for the afternoon is 34, 35 degrees, a few degrees above freezing. We'll probably hit freezing as we head towards noon, and then as we make our way into the afternoon, we'll sit at that 34, 35 degree level for a couple hours and cool back down again. But the point is that Monday morning, we are still looking at sub-freezing temperatures, and as all that moisture rolls through, it will again create a wintry mess across eastern North Carolina. Some may again see an addition of snowfall at this point. Some may see just an addition of sleet. Most, if not all, will see an addition of freezing rain on top of whatever is out there at this point. Now from there, by Monday evening, Monday afternoon, everything starts to pull away from the coast, and that's when we can start to say, okay, Now we just have to get rid of everything that is on the ground, because that is going to take some time. Air temperatures over next week really aren't going to be getting all that warm. Here's a look at your full 8-day forecast, and we'll get my face off the screen there. 61 degrees coming up for tomorrow, 50 degrees on Friday, 29 for your high on Saturday. So even if something comes down as a raindrop, it is going to freeze on contact with the ground. That's why Saturday we again have a slightly better opportunity for maybe some snow and certainly ice. But then Sunday and Monday, air temperatures slightly above that freezing point. So for Sunday and even into Monday, anticipating more of a freezing rain event than a snow event. I know that's disheartening for those of you who are snow lovers out there. Myself, I too am a snow lover. I wish that I could switch all this instead of to ice to snow. That way I could get my sled out. Me and the kids could have some fun. But right now this is looking more like a headache than a boon. So I'm going to talk about some of the questions. So Rashawn Lewis said, so Eastern NC won't get snow at all. Not the case. Not the case, Rashawn. ENC will see some snow. We're not looking again at this being an entire snow event. I don't think we're going to see a lot of snow, certainly not as much as we could if that low works its way a little bit further south. That will open up again more cold air for us to turn all of that moisture into snow. If that happens, there's still time for that to happen. There is still time for that to happen. But right now, it's looking like that low is going to get too close to us, and that will change what could have been snow again into sleet and or freezing rain. Now, some other questions. Yep. So let's see. Can we have a state of emergency so I don't have to work? No matter the weather, I have to drive in. Kimberly Butson, I understand. Unfortunately, I cannot call a state of emergency, but I do think we will likely see a response from Raleigh coming up here over the next few days. Winter weather watches have gone out across the state so far. In fact, I believe Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson County already under that winter storm watch. But a watch just means that winter weather is possible. It is not a warning. Warnings are when things are imminent or are already happening. Now, I'm getting now some more specific questions like Wayne County, Greenville, Bayboro, Hyde County, Jacksonville. Again, I would love to give you guys an accurate forecast of what you can expect at your house. But at this point, I'm not confident that I would be right, and I don't want to give you wrong information. So we are still a little bit too early to talk about accumulations, whether that's snow or sleet or ice, because the system is slowing down and because we have seen that rain-snow line shift a little bit further northward than what we were looking at over the past several days, just 24 hours ago. Now, yeah, yesterday we had about 4 or 5 model runs that were showing pretty much the exact same solution, which increased our confidence in the potential again for a winter weather event this weekend. Now we're starting to again see a little bit of some fluctuation where that rain snow line actually sets up, and that is giving us some pause as far as issuing again those accumulation maps, whether again it's snow or ice. So what everybody, no matter if you're watching in Hyde County, Wayne County, Bertie County, or Pender County, anywhere in between, anticipate or really try to prepare for travel being extremely rough, maybe not being able to drive anywhere, certainly not safely, and potentially prepare for the loss of power for 48 hours. It could be longer than that, but if you can prepare for those two things, you will be setting yourself up for a good way to get through this event without too much headaches. Now, of course, when you lose power, the headaches are going to come. In fact, last night I was telling my girls, hey, if you've got any Disney movies that you want to have available if the power goes out, I would suggest downloading them on your tablets now, because if once the power goes out, the internet doesn't work either, and you're going to have a tough time, again, keeping yourself entertained, because I'm just going to be pushing books and coloring books at you. If you want something on a screen, you're going to have to do it right now. So that's kind of an idea of what I am telling my kids. Hopefully, again, you guys can make the decisions that you need to make sure that you and your families remain safe. But at this point, again, prepare for extremely rough travel conditions starting as early as Saturday, but I think more so we'll really experience it Saturday night into Sunday, extending all the way into really Monday afternoon. I don't think Monday is going to be a good day at all for travel, potentially even Tuesday. And again, prepare for the possibility of some power outages. But that is, again, all we have time for. Is there any chance of just rain from Tammy Adams? Tammy, fantastic question. Yes. Yes, there is still that possibility of just rain. Now, with that possibility, you also have to understand that there will be a point where that rain transitions over into freezing rain, because we are very confident that air temperatures, certainly overnight, Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, are going to be well below freezing. So even though it may fall as rain, say Sunday afternoon, those cold air temperatures will turn it into ice as we head through Sunday night. But again, fantastic question there. Why does the line always stop in part of Pamlico County? From Ray Powell. Ray, big reason why is because Pamlico County is right next to the water, right next to the Pamlico Sound. And that, again, hangs on to more heat than the land off to your west does. So Craven, Beaufort counties tend to be a little bit colder whenever we have a cold weather event than the ocean does. And the closer you are to the ocean, or even the sounds, the warmer your air temperatures are going to be, the more difficult it is to get those sub-freezing temperatures. So that is why the line tends to, again, always kind of stop over Pamlico County, is because of your proximity to the water. Now again, Perry West, what about the snow? Going to stay north? Avid duck hunter, anything would help. Perry, again, what we have seen over the past 24 hours is that rain-snow line shifting further northward, which puts us more in a freezing rain scenario than a snow scenario. But that's just one day. When you take it from what we've been tracking this past weekend all the way to this point, 4 of the 5 days have been days where we see more of a snow, sleet, and freezing rain possibility. This past 24 hours, though, have kind of trended more towards a freezing rain possibility. So, Perry, I don't anticipate, at least from the current model guidance, that we are going to be seeing a lot of snow. Things could shift again. We're still several days out. But for right now, again, it's trending more towards freezing rain. Hopefully, again, I'm answering some of these other questions. When can we narrow down the accumulation? That's from Arlette Whitaker. Arlette, props to you. Fantastic question. I'm anticipating a much clearer picture and most likely accumulation estimates by the time we get to Friday morning. At that point, we'll be so close to the event that there won't be enough room or time for any major adjustments with that rain snow line to completely bust the forecast. If we call for, say 3 inches of snow in, Wilson County, and that rain snow line drifts further southward, then Wilson County ends up with 7 inches, and people are wondering, well, what's going on? You guys couldn't see that coming? It's all a matter of where that rain snow line ends up, and the later we get, the more certain we are with at least the range potential of where that rain snow line will actually end up. Again, you guys have been coming with some fantastic questions. As far as the difference in sleet and freezing rain, this is from Joy Cowell. Joy, sleet is when you have your precipitation drop. Some instances snow, others raindrops. When that precipitation falls, it falls initially as snow. Then it reaches a level in the atmosphere. This is common in eastern North Carolina because of our proximity to the ocean. We have kind of a layer of air that tends to be just a little bit warmer than freezing. We call it the warm nose of the Atlantic. That kind of sticks into eastern North Carolina. and historically has fouled up a lot of our snowfall forecasts. Usually we will anticipate seeing, 4 to 8 inches of snow. That warm nose comes in and that cuts it down by about 50% to only get about 2 to 4 inches of snow. So as that snowflake falls through that warmer layer of air, it melts into a raindrop. But then it makes its way all the way through that layer of air and returns to a sub-freezing layer of air. It refreezes not as a snowflake, but as a sleet pellet, and that is sleet. Freezing rain is a raindrop that stays a raindrop all the way to the ground, but ground temperatures are colder than 32 degrees. They're sub-freezing, so once that raindrop hits that sub-freezing surface, it freezes on contact, and that is freezing rain. That's what I think we are going to be seeing more of out of this system. And finally, this is going to be our last question for now. What is your opinion on where you think the line will fall? From Carol Siebert. Carol, great way of trying to pin me down and put me on the spot. But right now, I do think that latest model runs are pointing towards a solution that should be believed. I think that rain-snow line is going to stay. I would probably put it essentially from Raleigh to Norfolk. So some of our northern communities could certainly see some snowfall in there, but I think most of eastern North Carolina at this point are going to be set up for a freezing rain event. Possibly some sleet in there as well. There will again be some snowflakes coming down at times, but when we look back on this system, we are going to be complaining more about the ice than anything else, and I think that again is going to be the most impactful part of this system. Now, we will be back with more news and weather coming up at 4 p.m. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic day. I want to say thank you to everybody who has again joined me over in the Facebook comments. You guys are taking advantage of the First Alert Desk, having a meteorologist live to answer your questions. I do apologize. We're not ready to put out those accumulation maps just yet, but I would rather be right and late versus wrong and first. So hopefully, again, you guys can understand that and know that, again, by Friday morning, we are going to have a clearer picture of this system, and the overall delay, the slowdown of the low itself has certainly led to more forecast uncertainty with regards to those accumulations. But again, we will have more news and weather coming up at 4. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday.